Hello, this is Alex again. Welcome to my second video. My first video I discussed about fractions, how to add or subtract fractions. Okay, this time I'm going to discuss with you how to multiply and divide fractions. But I forgot something to do in my last video. I forgot to add mixed fractions or adding or subtracting a whole number and a mixed fraction. That's what I'm going to discuss with you today, a little bit about that, and then we'll proceed to discussing multiplication and division of fractions. Okay, sit tight. Let's get started. All right, go. There. Okay. How do we add mixed fractions? Okay. 2 and 3/4 plus 1 and 1/4. There. Notice that they are like fractions. Okay. So we just add the whole numbers there. 3. We add the numerators. That's 4. And we don't add. We copy. Sorry. So that's 4 also. So the answer there is 3 and 4 were 4. Okay. But what is this? That's equivalent to 1, right? So it's the same as saying it's 3 plus 1. So that's 4. That's our answer. Remember, when we look at this, 2 and 3/4, it means it's 2 plus 3/4. When we look at 1 and 1/4, it's the same thing as saying 1 plus 1/4. We just put them together. Okay? So here's another example. 4 and 3/5 plus 2 and 4/5, okay, that's equal to 6 and 7 over 5, or 6 and 7/5. There. But notice that fraction is a bit awkward, right? What do we do with that? We change its form into a proper fraction. Simply divide 7 by 5. That's 1. Then 1 times 5 is 5. And then subtract. That's 2. So 7 over 5 is the same as 1 and 2/5. Okay? And then just add this to 6. So our answer is 7 and 2/5. Alright? So that's how we add like mixed fractions. Alright. What if they're unlike mixed fractions? Okay? For example, 3 and 1/2 plus 2 and 2/3. Now, traditionally, we convert this to an improper fraction. So we multiply this and add that. Multiply this and add that. So 3 times 2 is 6. Plus 1, that's 7. Okay? And this one is 6. 2 times 3 is 6. Plus 2, that's 8. So 8 over 3. Remember the magic method that we did in my last video? We simply multiply these two denominators, becomes 6. And when we cross this, that's 21. And then we cross this, that's 16. Okay, let's check again. So that's 7 times 6, 21. 8 times 2, 16. And then we add. What is 21 plus 16? I think that's 37. There. So that's 37 over 6. And if we convert that to mixed fractions, it's 37 divided by 6. That's 6. 36, 1. The answer there is 6 and 1 over 6. Okay? That's our answer. Okay. We do another one. So we add 1 and 2/5 plus 2 and 1/4. Okay. Like before, we convert this into improper fractions first. So 5 times 1 is 5 plus 2. That's 7 over 5. Okay. Plus 4 times 2 is 8. Plus 1, 9 over 4. Let's recheck. 5 times 1, 5 plus 2, 7. 4 times 2 is 8 plus 1, 9. Remember, when you're doing computations, whether it's in math, physics, or chemistry, always have this habit of checking and double checking and triple checking your solutions and your answers. Okay? Because sometimes we overlook. Okay? So we need to check and double check. Okay, I think this is correct. 9 over 4, 7 over 4. All right. Then apply the shortcut. 20 multiply by 5 times 4. And then this one becomes 28. Then this becomes 45. Right? Okay, 7 times 4 is 28. 5 times 10 is 45. Then we add 28 and 45. That's 13. 7. 8 plus 5 is 13. Bring down 3. Carry 1. 2 plus 4 is 6. Plus 1 is 7. So, it's 73 over 20. That's already correct, but if you want to convert that to mixed fraction, then divide it. 73 divided by 20, that's, I think that's 3. 60. 13. Let's check. How many 20s in 73? There are only 3, right? Because if it's 4, it becomes 80. It's over 73. It has to be equal or lesser than 73. So that's 3 times 0, 0. 3 times 2, 6. Then subtract. 3 minus 0 is 3. 7 minus 6 is 1. Therefore, our fraction there is 3 and 13 over 20. This one or this one, they're both correct. Okay? Now, how do we add a whole number, okay, and a mixed fraction? Now, I didn't discuss subtraction of mixed fractions because the method is the same, okay? The procedure is the same. The only difference is we subtracted it, all right? So, what if we're adding a whole number with a mixed fraction? Okay, very simple. Just add these two. That's it. So 7 and 1/3. Look at that. Very easy. Okay. Or that's 7 times 3 and 1 plus 1, 22 over 3. Okay. Now, what if it's the other way around? 1 and 3/5 plus 6. Okay, add the two whole numbers, you'll get 7 and 3/5. Very quick. You don't need to convert that to an improper fraction. Just add the two whole numbers. 4, 3, 7. Then copy the 1/3. 1, 6, 7. Copy the fraction. There. Very easy. Or, that's 35 plus 3. That's 38 over 5. Okay. Let's check. Double check. 21, 22, that's 35, 38. There you go. Now, if you're adding it, good. Even though you interchange the whole number in the mixed fraction, it doesn't make a difference. Okay? You just add the two whole numbers. Now, what if we subtract them? Okay. Now, this is now a bit different. What if I'm going to subtract 4 and 3 and 1/3? How do I do that? Okay. Like what we did before, we change this to improper fraction. Okay? That's only one way, you know? Okay, so 3 times 3 is 9 plus 1, that's 10, or 10 over 3. And then how do we make this 4 a fraction? Just divide it by 1. Simple as that. So 4 and 4 over 1 are just the same. Okay, now this one is 3 times 3, 9 plus 1, 10. So 10 over 3. And then remember the shortcut. Multiply, cross, cross. Oh, easy, right? So 12 minus 10 is 2. So the answer there is 2/3. Very simple. Another way to do this is to make this a mixed fraction also. How do you do that? Now, 4 can be represented as 3 and 3/3, right? Because 3 over 3 is 1, 1 plus 3 is 4. That's another way of representing 4. And then since they have the same denominator, it's so easy to subtract it. 3 minus 3, 0. 3 minus 1, 2. Copy the denominator, 3. You don't need to write this anymore. Look at that. Now choose which one's easier. Okay. Remember, my how do you call this? My principle here is how to quickly solve it, or how to solve it the easiest possible way. So it's all up to you. Which one will you choose? This one or this one? Okay. Now, we are subtracting a mixed fraction from a whole number. What if it's the other way around? Okay. What if, let's say, 5 and 2 over 7 minus 2? Now, this one is very easy. Now, if the mixed fraction is in front, or goes first before the whole number, just simply subtract 2 from 5. So the answer is 3 and 2 over 7. Voila! It only happens if the mixed fraction is written before the whole number. Okay? So just 5 minus 2 becomes 3, and then just copy the 2 over 7. 6 and 1/4 minus 3 is 3 and 1/4. Simple as that. All right? So it's just a matter of remembering the form. Okay, this one, so easy, just subtract it. But if it's like this, for example, 5 minus 3 and 1/4, it's different. This one is very different from this one. Okay, this only happens when the mixed fraction is written before the whole number. Then it's very easy to subtract. But this one, you need to convert this to improper fraction first, and then convert this to fraction also. Okay, so much for that. Now, how do we multiply fractions? Actually, this is the easiest operation for fractions. Okay, 1/2 times 2/3. It's just 2 over 6. Simply multiply both the numerators and both the denominators. That's it. And then if you can simplify it, simplify it. This is 1/3. Okay. What I'm teaching my students is not to really multiply all of them, but to do cancellation. Okay. For simple fractions, no problem. What if the fractions are, complex? For example, 24 over 30 times 15 over 8. Are you going to multiply 24 and 15? Wow, it's going to take you a long time, right? So what I'm telling my students, we can make cancellations first. We simplify the fractions. Okay, how do we do that? You can simplify 15 and 30, right? So do cancellations. I can divide this by 15, I'll get 1. I divide this by 15, I'll get 2, right? Because 30 divided by 15 is 2. Simply get the common divisor, all right? I can divide 8 by 8 or by itself, I get 1. I divide 24 by 8, I get 3. Now look at that. It's 3 over 2 times 1 over 1. So that's 3 over 2, or 1 and 1/2. We are saving so much time if we do cancellation. The only problem here is it takes practice. It takes really practice to master this. Just find a common divisor, simplify your fractions first, and then if it's already simplified, then it's time to multiply. Simple as that. All right? I'll give you another one. Okay. Let's say 35 over 20 times 10 over 30. Wow, those are big numbers, right? Okay. Actually, I'm giving you a choice. If you want to multiply, you can do it. Why not, right? But what I'm after here is how to make it easier, how to make it quick. Remember, when we do our seat works, when we do our quizzes, our exams, it's always time limit, right? You have to do it in 1 hour or else, diba? Okay, so what do we do? Look at this. 10 and 30, I can just cancel the zeros, right? Or I can divide this by 10, 1. I can divide this by 10 also, 3. Okay? In other words, whatever divisor you use in the numerator should be the same divisor you should use in the denominator. Okay? If I divided this by 10, I should divide this by 10 also. Okay? Now, what do we do here? They're both divisible by 5, right? So 35 divided by 5, that's 7. And 20 divided by 5, that's 4. Well, look at that, so easy. Huh? So 35 divided by 5, they're both divisible by 5. So 35 divided by 5 is 7. 20 divided by 5 is 4. Oh, what are our fractions now? So 7 over 4 times 1/3. So it's 7 over 12. Voila. Very easy. Instead of multiplying 35 times 10, 350, 20 times 30, that's 600. Wow, look at that. How do you simplify that? It's big, but this one, so easy. Okay, so when you multiply fractions, you just multiply the numerator, multiply the denominator, and that's it. But if you can apply cancellation first, then it's going to be very, very easy for you. Okay, try to practice this. Next, how do we divide fractions? Okay, now we're going to divide. Well, 2/3 divided by 1/4. Okay, traditionally, again, we make this times or multiplication, but we get the reciprocal of the next fraction. It becomes 4 over 1, and then we apply multiplication. So 2 times 4, that's 8. 3 times 1, that's 3. That's it. It's 8 over 3, or 2 and 2/3, I think. Let's see. You always have to double check, remember. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 2, that's 8. Okay, so that's 8 over 3. All right. Now, what if we divide a whole number, let's say 5, by a fraction? Let's say 2/3. What is 5 divided by 2/3? Again, make this a fraction, 5 over 1. Change the sign into times, and then get the reciprocal of the second fraction. That's 3 over 2. Or 15 over 2. Simple as that. Okay? How do you simplify that? So it's 7 and 1/2. Let's check. 7 times 2, 14, plus 1, 15. So 15 over 2. So easy. All right? Now, if it's a mixed fraction, let's say 4 and 1/2 divided by 2 and 1/3. Again, traditionally, make this into an improper fraction. Times this, plus that. 4 times 2 is 8, plus 1, so that's 9 over 2. times this plus that. 3 times 2 is 6 plus 1 is 7. So 7 over 3. Let's check again. 6, 7, 8, 9. All right. Then we change this to times reciprocal. So the answer is 27 over 14. All right. Yep. Or 1 and 13 over 14. Check again. 14 times 1 is 14 plus 13, 27. I think that's correct. It's so easy to divide, no? Okay. Now there's something I forgot in multiplication. Let's go back first. What if we're multiplying a whole number and a mixed fraction? There. Same thing. 7 over 1. 12, 13 over 4. Check again. 3 times 4 is 12 plus 1, 13. And then multiply. What is 13 times 7? 7 times 3, 1, 21. 7 times 1, 17. 91. 7 times 3, 1, 21. 7 times 1, 7 plus 2, 9. Okay. It's 91 over 4. There. Simple as that. Or divide it. 91 divided by 4. That's 2. And then that's 8, 11, 3. Nope. 2. So that's 8. And then 3. So the answer there is 22 and 3/4. There. What do you think? Right? Okay, let's go back to division. Okay, some fractions are written in this format. For example, 2/3 over 3/4. All right? How do you do that? Well, it only means one thing. It's this one divided by 3/4. Just convert it to this one. It's more simplified. Yeah. And then convert convert to multiplication, get the reciprocal. Yep. So the answer there is 8 over 9. Yep. What if it's a whole number? Okay. What if it's 6 over, let's say, 3/5? Same thing. 6 over 1 divided by 3/5, or 6 over 1 times 5 over 3. Yep, that's correct. So that's 30 over 3, or 10. Multiplying and dividing fractions are very easy. Okay, you only have to do some practice. Remember, when you're multiplying fractions, especially if the numbers are big, always do cancellation first. Because most of the time, your teacher will tell you, do not use your calculator. Well, if you're not allowed to use calculator, how can you solve it? You do long multiplication. But the problem is, if it's time limit. Okay, so my advice for you, or my advice to you is to simplify first by doing cancellation. Remember, the how do you call this? The divisor that you're going to use should be the same to both numerator and denominator. Okay, the more simplified your fraction is, the simpler it is to be multiplied or be divided. Okay. Okay, so in our next video, I will discuss with you how to go about decimals, how we add, subtract, multiply, and divide the easy way. Remember, if Sir Alex says so, it's easy. All right? See you next time. Bye.